Running a Fever, episode 368. Enjoyment is healthy. Previously on Running a Fever.
Seemed like a nice day, and to be honest, I really miss this. I love walking. I like walking and talking to you. And I'm going to do full circuit here. It just doesn't feel right to do less anymore. It's good enough to do it just because you enjoy doing it. Well, if just enjoying something and doing it because you enjoy it is not enough, consider this. Something that makes you feel good is usually, not always, but usually a reliever of stress in your life. Studies show that being a person of faith can add 4 years to your life. Love and life. If I can't do that, then I need to start trying to figure out how I can. Because that's the key. That is what it's all about, love and life. I have a new dietitian. Her name is Lindsay. And I went in, this was my first visit with Lindsay, and Angela was actually hovering around the room, but she has moved on to a new position, and so now I get a new perspective on my dietary health and other things. I went in there with a couple of problems, at least what I thought was problems. My body fat was dropping slowly, but I was kind of stalled. My weight was between 195 and 201, and I just wasn't losing anymore. And I was at a caloric deficit, less than 2,000 calories. I wasn't losing any weight. I guess my metabolism suffered at that point. 2,000, or more, I could maintain. I still wasn't losing a whole lot. The main thing that Lindsay told me about that was if your body changes are stalling, do more cardio. And what a surprise. It's not the first time that I've heard that. And that seems to be the one problem that I'm facing, is getting motivated to do that cardio on a regular basis. And, now, at the time that I went to see Lindsay, I was still on the old, I won't say the old, I was trying the Remington James diet I've talked about before. And it was a pound and a half of meat a day. And she liked my old diet before, that I talked about, my flexible diet, and I like it better too. But she said too much protein, and then my old diet was probably much better. Yeah, I like Lindsay so far. It's always good to have that professional opinion. If you have the ability to get a good dietitian and work with them, at least check in every now and then and say, okay, here's what my diet is, how am I doing, etc. Pretty good visit with Lindsay that time. I mean, sometimes life just gets in the way. The world does not revolve around me, and there are going to be plenty of things that I don't like that I'm going to have to deal with in as I love my life. So, got to take care of yourself physically, psychologically. Do things like I'm doing today.
Hello and welcome to Running a Fever. My name's Michael Davis, and this is a podcast about fitness, diet, and medicine. My goal is to live a long, healthy, happy, active life right up to the very end. And I do that by loving my life enough to make it last as long as possible. And welcome to the 83rd and penultimate episode in our series Shattering the Yo-Yo. That's right, only one more episode to go in this multi-year series. The idea is to look back at the most successful period in my health journey and to learn things from it to help me and you move forward with success in the here and now, and ever after. I think episode 111 was a pretty good one. It was a standard walking episode, and note that completing a full circuit of Lake Fayetteville Trail was a routine event for me at that time. I was willing to spend almost 2 hours doing it, and I had the stamina and wellness to complete it. As you know, I've been plagued by back issues recently during my walks. More on that in an upcoming episode. As such, as I expressed in 111, I very much miss walking and talking to you at this point as well. I hope I can return to it sooner rather than later. The numbers, as usual, are amazing. I was 200 pounds and still trying to lose weight, and I suppose the dietitian didn't have a problem with that. In fact, most health professionals I've encountered swear by the BMI, and at 200 pounds, I was still more than 20 pounds away from my ideal BMI range. Today, I weighed in at 268, which is actually down from earlier this year. At some point shortly after this recording, I stopped going to the dietitian, which, by the way, is part of what is called the MOVE program at the VA. I thought I had my diet pretty much figured out, and I was feeling pretty good weight-wise. It feels good to have my old diet validated by the dietitian. I always liked the concept of being an expert at your own health and being flexible with the diet, instead of going by one of the popular, more restrictive diets I like to refer to as no diets. Thanks for listening. I hope you've learned something today. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. It's free, and it only costs you a microsecond of your time, one click, and helps me promote the channel and this podcast. As always, if you have the fever, keep it burning, and if you don't, catch the fever. I will see you next time on the final Shattering of the Yo-Yo episode.